Hello and welcome to a quick look at the SHF Wonder Woman 1984 Golden Armor. Now the film wasn't that good, I mean it's fine, whatever, but you know, this armor is also something that appeared in one of the comic books as well, so that's what I'm going to see it as. And you know, the design and whatever is still pretty nice. I'm not a big fan of just gold per se, but the overall look of it has a lot of layers and stuff in the movie, so hopefully the figure will look quite nice as well. As you can see, they've really gone with that 1984 aesthetic with the colorings and stuff with the photos, so that looks pretty nice in some different poses on the back and showing you, hey, the face does look, you know, decent and stuff. So does it look decent? Well, from the previews and stuff, I thought it looks pretty good. So pretty big box, and it is quite filled up, so it's not a waste of space and stuff. You got your general instruction paper and whatever inside, and of course you have the front tray with the figure and the extra bits for the wings and the stand. Let's just take a look at this one first. Let's get the just get the wings out and the stands out. So the stands are just these little, got these little forks on the end, so you just literally just stick them in, and I guess the idea is that they just sort of hold up the wings and whatever. And the wings themselves, they have no markings on them whatsoever to tell you if they're left or right or not, but I have assembled this once before, and from what I recollection is the inner ones like near to the body, and they are supposed to have some sort of, you know, curve to go around the body, but there's also these little clip edges. I don't know what they're for, and it's just sort of there to hold it in position, but not really. It doesn't really do a good job or whatever. So, and yeah, so you got these wings just like that. And let's take a closer look at what's inside here. There's another tray thing right there. So aside from the fists already on her, you also have these two item holding hands, relaxed hands, and spray open hands. You got the center of the wings, the lasso that's opened up. The lasso on her belt is already attached to her, and she's got two different heads, one with helmet and one without. And it's also this extra sort of cross-shaped hair that's more in a relaxed position. In the figure itself, I think they've done a pretty good job with the likeness and the face. Actually, the regular release of her 1984 suit is also pretty good in that aspect as well, but now you have a sort of just a regular Gal Gadot head if you want that, because she doesn't have the tiara or whatever on her head, so it's just a plain head of Gal Gadot. So yeah, if that's what you like, then great. And in terms of golden armor, it's not as shiny as it is in the movie, but I think that's a good thing, because if it was that shiny, it'd be much easier to scratch, plus getting fingerprints on it. Here it's got a slight tint of matte on the shininess, but it still has a very nice contrast with the actual matte areas of the suit. The silver does still stand out just a little bit, and the overall cutting and just overall look of the suit is still pretty nice. In terms of articulation, her hair does move out the way. There's a joint for the hair on the back, which is good. She can rotate her head quite well despite all the hair pieces, but moving it back just slightly, forward just slightly, not so much. Sideways is almost non-existent. I think it's not even a ball peg in there, probably a peg and swivel. And yeah, with this suit, it doesn't really have a bottom neck joint either. Shoulder pad goes out the way, so her arms can go up quite far. There's a rotating joint hidden inside, so there's no cut on the arm, so there is going to be limited articulation there. Double elbow joint, peg and swivel for the hand, just like most figure arts. Body can go very far back, not so much forward because of the shape of the armor. The lasso just fell off. Leg goes up, back, sideways. Double knee joint, foot goes forward, back. Toe joints just a little bit. Can I go more? No. And it can go, legs can go sideways just a little bit, but it's a little bit, joints a little bit tight on mine. So yeah. And aside from the body, if you look at the other head with the helmet, the likeness is done quite well. And there's actually like the double joints on the hair, you can go quite far. And that's very good. And that doesn't affect articulation at all. I guess it's time to fully assemble her, so I'm just going to pull this head off, and actually her long hair does cover the two pegs on the back, so that's pretty useful. These long hair too, but I'm going to unplug that because in order to attach the wings I'm going to have to use this alternative piece where it's out the way. So there's a peg in there, it just plugs in, and this still has a little bit of articulation just to move around a bit, so that's good. And so plug that in, plug the wing piece in, oops, wrong way, into the two pegs, come on, and then plug these wings into the back, into the two pegs, so that does actually stay on quite secure. Get these wing pieces, there's a little bump on these pegs, so there will be a little, you'll be able to feel it just bump a little. Okay, plug that in. Let me just get her lasso back onto her belt, and let's just say she's standing in a neutral pose, because these wings actually feel quite heavy on the figure itself. So if I just, even standing in a neutral pose is a bit hard, which is why they gave you those two little peg stands or whatever. But even then, you know, this thing is will that stand? Okay, nope, maybe outside like that, and then just get this peg, this stand like that out there. I guess I'll just open her legs a bit so she can stand easier. And the conclusion is that these stands barely get the job done. If you don't have a stage act or any action figure actual stand, then forget it. You're not going to be posing her. It's going to be a pain in the ass. So yeah. Conclusion, if you like the Wonder Woman golden armor, this is probably the best one you will get by far. The McFarlane one, the face just doesn't look right. It looks really bad, and the goldenness is just not quite there. But I mean, yeah, it's way cheaper, and if you can't afford this one, that is okay enough alternative. I probably want to respray it and repaint it just a little bit, but if you want something that's really accurate to the movie, this does look great. The posing is slightly annoying, the wings can be a bit annoying, and the golden armor itself can be easy to scratch, so you really have to be careful with this figure. But overall, this is a very solid release. It's just on the expensive side. Articulation is also pretty decent. So if you like Wonder Woman, you like this armor, then maybe consider it. It's not, the price has gone down in retail from what I can see, at least in Hong Kong, so hopefully you can get it for a discount if you're overseas as well. And yeah, in terms of other companies, I don't think anyone else is going to be producing this look of the character in action figure form, at least at this scale, because even with the Snyder Cut coming out, I don't see Mafex like reissuing some of their older sort of Justice League figures, so they seem to be not touching this movie either. It's a shame we don't have any Cheetah action figures as of right now in the scale from the movie or comic books in terms of decent quality. None of the Mattel stuff is good enough, so that can no. Which is a shame. Would be nice to get a Cheetah action figure eventually. We did get Gorilla Grodd for Flash at least, so cool. So yeah, Wonder Woman fix is still slightly limited so far. Subscribe, just comment below, and guys, take care and have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.